So your body literally makes you colder when you're scared, which is a wild design choice for a survival machine that's supposed to be keeping you alive. Like, you're already dealing with a potential threat, and your body just decides, you know what would make this better? Let's also make you uncomfortable. It's like your internal thermostat is being run by a passive-aggressive roommate who's mad you left dishes in the sink. Here's what's actually happening. The second your brain detects something threatening, a loud noise, a dark hallway, your phone ringing from an unknown number at 2 a.m., it fires up your sympathetic nervous system. That's the fight-or-flight system, which is basically your body's emergency broadcast network, except instead of a test, it's always the real thing. And one of the very first moves it makes is yanking blood away from your skin and extremities and shoving it toward your major organs and big muscle groups. Your heart, your lungs, your legs, the stuff that's going to help you either punch a bear or run from one. Which means your skin, the thing that's literally wrapped around your entire body and is kind of responsible for how warm you feel, just got ghosted by your own circulatory system. Your blood vessels near the surface constrict, vasoconstriction, which sounds like a villain's power but is really just your arteries getting tight and stingy. And suddenly, your hands are cold, your arms have goosebumps, and you feel like someone opened a window that doesn't exist. And the goosebumps thing? That's its own whole situation. Those tiny muscles at the base of each hair follicle, erector pili muscles, if you want to sound unbearable at parties, they contract and pull your hair upright. In animals with actual fur, this makes them look bigger, puffier, more intimidating. It traps air between the hairs for insulation, too. In humans, it just makes you look like a plucked chicken standing in a walk-in freezer. Evolution really left us on red with that one. We kept the mechanism, but lost the fur that made it useful, which is basically like keeping the app installed after deleting your account. Okay, but here's where it gets genuinely interesting. That cold feeling isn't just a side effect. Your brain is actively choosing to sacrifice your comfort for your survival. It's running triage, and the logic, if you can call it logic, goes something like this. If you're about to get hurt, you want less blood near the surface of your skin because surface blood means more bleeding from wounds. So your body is preemptively reducing the damage from an injury that hasn't even happened yet. It's paranoid in the most productive way possible, like bubble wrapping your phone before you've even dropped it. Except the bubble wrap is just being really cold and miserable. This is also why people go pale when they're terrified. Same mechanism. Blood retreats inward, skin loses its color, and you end up looking like you've been using the wrong shade of foundation for your entire life. It's not dramatic, it's hydraulics. Your body is literally redirecting fluid flow, like a city rerouting traffic around an accident, and your face is the neighborhood that gets cut off. And the hormone driving a lot of this chaos is adrenaline. Epinephrine, if you want to be clinical about it, but nobody wants that. Adrenaline is the body's espresso shot from hell. It spikes your heart rate, dilates your pupils, tenses your muscles, and yes, triggers that vasoconstriction that makes you feel like you stuck your hands in a snowbank. Some researchers actually measured skin temperature during fear responses, because apparently that's a grantable experiment, and they found that finger temperature can drop several degrees within seconds of a scare. Seconds. Your body doesn't mess around when it thinks you're in danger. It's the most efficient it'll ever be, which is honestly insulting when you think about how slow it is at literally everything else. Healing a paper cut? 2 weeks. Responding to a jump scare? Instantaneous thermostat adjustment. There's also cortisol in the mix, your body's slow-burn stress hormone. If adrenaline is the fire alarm, cortisol is the guy who shows up 20 minutes later with a clipboard to assess the damage and then sticks around for way too long. Cortisol keeps your body in that heightened state, which means prolonged fear or anxiety can keep you feeling cold for extended periods. This is why chronic stress can make people feel perpetually chilly. Your body thinks you're in danger all the time, so it just keeps hoarding blood in your core, like a dragon sitting on a pile of circulatory gold, refusing to share with your fingers and toes. Which, by the way, explains something you might have noticed but never connected. Anxiety disorders often come with cold hands and feet. Not because anxious people are bad at wearing socks, but because their sympathetic nervous system is basically stuck in the on position, constantly diverting blood inward, constantly preparing for a threat that may or may not exist. It's your body running a fire drill every 15 minutes and wondering why everyone's exhausted and freezing. And that's not even the unhinged part. Your body can trigger this same cold response from purely imaginary threats. Watching a horror movie, reading a creepy story, thinking about that one time you almost sent a text to the wrong person and the wrong person was your boss. None of these are real physical dangers, but your brain doesn't care. It processes the fear signal the same way, regardless of whether a bear is actually in the room or you just thought you saw one in the shadows of your coat rack. Your amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, basically a smoke detector with anxiety, can't always tell the difference between real and imagined danger. So it just hits the panic button every time, and your blood vessels obey like they're contractually obligated. This is also why people describe fear as chilling, or say something made their blood run cold. Those aren't just metaphors. They're accidentally accurate descriptions of vasoconstriction. Somewhere along the line, humans noticed that being scared made them cold, didn't know why, and just baked it into the language. We diagnosed ourselves correctly through vibes alone, centuries before anyone understood the autonomic nervous system. You can actually feel this in real time if you pay attention. Next time something startles you, a loud noise, a near miss in traffic, someone sneaking up behind you, notice your hands. They'll be cooler, maybe not dramatically, but enough. Your body already responded before you even finished processing what happened. It's faster than your conscious mind, which is either reassuring or terrifying, depending on how much you trust a nervous system that also makes you hiccup for no reason. And here's the thing you can actually use. If you're about to do something nerve-wracking, a presentation, a difficult conversation, an interview, and your hands go cold and clammy, that's not weakness. That's your body gearing up like it's about to fight a predator on the savannah. You're not falling apart. You're being over-prepared by a system that hasn't received a software update in about 200,000 years. Warming your hands up, holding a hot drink, running them under warm water, can actually send a feedback signal to your brain that helps down-regulate that stress response. It's weirdly simple. Warm hands, calmer brain. Your nervous system is apparently that easy to trick, which says a lot about the sophistication of the machine we're all walking around in. So, yeah, you feel cold when you're scared because your body decided, way back in the evolutionary timeline, that keeping your liver warm was more important than keeping your fingertips comfortable. And honestly, given the options, bleed out from a surface wound or have chilly hands for 10 minutes, it's not the worst trade-off. It's just that your body makes that call when you're watching a scary movie at home under a blanket, which is the biological equivalent of wearing a helmet to bed. Technically protective, absolutely unnecessary. And yet here we are, shivering at a Netflix thumbnail like our ancestors shivered at rustling in the tall grass. Because the hardware is identical, and the software hasn't changed, just the screensaver.